In our competitive deck analysis, we're kind of working in the opposite trajectory of the rainbow. We started with purple, blue, now I guess we'll just cover green because it's the next one in order. Now before we get talking about green, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on to smash potatoes. That's a green card. It also lets you know when I upload more videos, so I'd get to it. Now I think this video is going to be super quick because green isn't actually that good right now, unfortunately. Next set it'll be tier 1 with that giant green bird. I have no idea what it's called, I don't know anything about Digimon, but that giant green bird is going to make Digimon green tier 1, so just wait and see. But for now, it's not really good. The most competitive way green is seen right now, for the most part, is in the rookie to champion rush category. Sometimes with blue, sometimes with red, whatever. But they have really good level 3s, and they have 2 really cheap level 4s. That means it's just cheap to evolve, keep drawing cards, and you can just beat down the opponent with all that advantage you're gaining. That's really all that is. Green's good in that regard. The other notable cards in competitive green that we see more than often are Puppetmon, which just blanks your opponent for a turn. That's insane. Got Titamon, just because it's your cheap green level 3. People still play that and supporting level 5s because it's cheap and that's fine. And Flower Cannon, the card that just says end your opponent's battle phase, except for their blockers. And it has a little bit of utility too if you use it during your main phase. But that's really all we gotta say about green. Unfortunately, Rosemon Control is really the other green deck that we haven't really touched upon in terms of competitive play anywhere, because it doesn't really top that many tournaments. It just straight up hasn't. Rust Tyrannomon and Green Tyrannomon decks have made appearances in top cuts, and those randomly come out here and there because they're aggressive. But Rosemon? Not really. I do think it's really one of the best ways to play green, because if you can force the opponent to a mid game and then a late game, you can control their board really easily. It's just Rosemon in the early game isn't that effective, so you need other ways of bringing the opponent to the mid to late game, which can be hard because we're in an aggressive meta right now. It is what it is. The pros of green, if they haven't really been touched on already, is that they're aggressive, which means they can take prizes really quick. It means that they're quicker than the control decks. Unless you're having an aggro mirror match, you're generally going to have the upper hand in terms of aggression, and you're just going to pump out damage quicker than the other opponent. Green has Flower Cannon, which we mentioned, and Puppetmon, which blank your opponent. And blanking your opponent's really good because it gives you a turn to do something, and the opponent has their turn to do nothing. Green also has some really good value, like Palmon searches your level 4s, Togemon, if you play it, searches your level 5s or higher, and the 2 1-cost champions does really help green get to high revolution stages without a problem. But really, that's all that green has going for it, which is probably part of the reason why it's not seeing as much competitive play as it should be. It's because its main trick is just Rookie and Champion Rush right now. And Rookie Champion Rush is just Rookie and Champion Rush. It's solid, it's good, it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to play, so it's an easy deck for a long tournament. No thought required, you just put all your cards together, shuffle them up, and just throw down your crap. It's really that easy. So green being such an aggressive color right now in terms of its competitive niche, that does open it up to a few cons. Things like blockers, early blockers can give you trouble. Things like Volcanic Dramon can give you trouble. Just certain cards that can remove your board or, trade with your resources better than the opponent can trade with you. Those are the kind of matchups you're going to have difficulty against. Playing a Tyrannomon version of the deck, one that specifically specializes in Rusty Tyrannomon, you have to watch out for just your generic creature removal like Gaia Force, Omnimon, and Trump Sword. Those are cards that are all going to give you issues down the road if you're banking on that one big green monster to give you the gain. Same goes for Rosemon, I guess, which is also one of the reasons why it's just not up there, because it's not aggressive enough and can just die. If I was to play green in a tournament, it probably would be Rosemon Control if I felt like my big brain 500 IQ plays were going to work. And if they weren't, or if I had a headache or migraine or wasn't feeling great, I would just throw together some sort of blue-green, Rookie Rush, Champion Rush, just throw my cards on the table, and then throw in Puppetmons and Flower Cannons because, you saw that earlier in the channel in my videos, and it works, it's great. In conclusion, green kind of did get the shaft in set 1.0. It didn't get very many cards compared to other colors. And the cards I did get, unless you want to be super aggressive, don't really compete with the higher tiered cards like Omnimon or Piedmon. Those are all things that kind of have green pushed back to like the tier 2-ish, 1.5-ish range. But that will all change, and we will cover it extensively on this channel, I'm sure, when set 1.5 comes out. And that bird, I won't know its name, I have no idea. But when that thing comes out, and a few of the green cards to support it come out, like, green will be tier 1. I will have it built. It's going to be freaking fantastic. All in all, right now it's a cheap and easy deck to play, unless you want to play Rosemon Control or Rusty Tyrannomon. And if you just like spamming and taking quick damage and not really interacting with your opponent, except with like flower cannons and stuff, when you activate them hard from your hand, not resolving them in your security, then I think you'll really like green right now. And that's all we gotta say about green. See ya!